All right, let's dive in today, and we're going to be looking at the Q2 FY25 results of Aditya Birla Capital Limited, ABCL for short. And I know, maybe you're thinking, ugh, another financial report.
Yeah, exactly. Who needs
But
those?
seriously, this one is interesting, I promise. We're talking about the financial arm of the Aditya Birla Group,
Right. Yeah.
which, if you didn't know, is a Fortune 500 company
Oh, yeah. Huge, massive.
with its fingers in all sorts of pies, everything from
Oh,
textiles, telecom,
yeah.
even cement,
Wow.
and of course, finance.
Oh, of course.
And we've got a bunch of sources to dig into today. We've got a press release, an investor presentation, and even a few of your questions.
Oh,
So
nice.
we'll see if we can answer those. And just to give you a little taste of what we're dealing with here. Did you know their consolidated profit jumped by 42% year on year?
Seriously.
Yeah, to hit 40,001 crore.
All right. Getting right into it.
It's wild, and revenue's up too. 36% to hit 12,007 crore.
That's massive.
I know, it's exciting stuff. So I'm really curious to see what kind of insights we can uncover together as we dig into all of this.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited.
All right, so let's kind of start with the big picture here. I mean, we've already thrown out some numbers, like that 42% jump in profit, reaching the 1,001 crore. That's consolidated after tax.
Wow. After tax.
Yeah, after tax. And then the revenue soaring 36% to hit 12,007 crore. So clearly they're doing well, but like, what's actually driving this success?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Right, exactly.
Where's it all coming from?
Yeah.
What's working for them?
Well, one thing they highlight a lot is their lending portfolio. So both their NBFC, non-banking financial company, and HFC operations, housing finance company.
Okay, so they're hitting both those markets.
Right. And that portfolio saw a 27% year-on-year jump, reaching 1,037,946 crore.
That's a lot of growth.
It is. But, it's not all about lending. They're also in on the whole investment and insurance game, too.
Right. That seems like a smart move.
Yeah, I think so. So their AUM, assets under management, across their asset management company, life and health insurance businesses, all that grew a healthy 24% to hit 5,001,152 crore.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So they're not just like laser focused on one thing, they're kind of spread out.
Right, exactly. So they're not putting all their eggs in one basket, which is, probably a good thing.
It's a very good plan.
Let's break down each of those segments a bit more, starting with the MBFC business. Their core, their bread and butter, right?
Okay.
But their disbursements, the money they're lending out, that shot up 17% year on year. And actually, even more impressive, 44% compared to the last quarter.
Sequentially.
Sequentially, exactly. And AUM there is up a solid 23%, with most of that focused on retail customers, SMEs, small and medium enterprises, and H&Is, those high net worth
The
individuals.
big spenders.
Yeah, and all that together makes up about 65% of their portfolio.
So they've got a good mix of people that they're working with there.
Right. They're not just, chasing one particular type of customer. And one more interesting thing here, they boast a pretty impressive return on equity, ROE. In this segment, it sits at 15.56%.
15.56%. Okay.
Yeah, so I got to ask, what exactly does a high ROE tell us? Some of our listeners might not be finance wizards.
That's a great question. Basically, it's telling us that they're really good at using their capital to make money. So think of it this way. If you invest €100 in their business, they're making over 15 in profit from that.
Oh, okay.
So it's a good sign, right? It means
Yeah.
they're managing things well and they're profitable.
Gotcha. Okay, so next up we've got their housing finance arm, and this is where things get really interesting. Buckle up,
Oh, okay.
because their AUM here skyrocketed 51% year on year.
51. Wow.
51%, it's wild.
Yeah, that is huge growth.
It's huge. And it's not just the AUM. Their disbursements more than doubled, jumping 113% year on year, and even 31% compared to last quarter.
So they're really capitalizing on the whole real estate boom.
Yeah, it seems like
And in India right now?
definitely. It seems like they're really killing it in that market.
It seems like it, yeah.
But is it sustainable?
Yeah.
Like what's fueling this insane growth?
Yeah, I mean, that's the question, right? How long can it last? Well, I think it's a bunch of things. You've got India has a really young population, right, and rising incomes. Plus, people are moving to the cities like crazy. So all that drives demand for housing.
Makes sense.
And ABCL seems to be right there, offering good loans and making it easier for people to buy.
They're making it smooth.
Right, but, the big question is, like you said, is it sustainable? We'll have to look more into how they manage their risks later on.
Okay, we'll definitely dig into that a bit later. For now, let's switch gears to asset management. It seems like everyone's investing these days. So how's ABCL doing in that space?
It's definitely a hot market right now.
It is. So their quarterly average AUM, that climbed 23% year on year to hit 3,083,309 crore.
Okay, another big number.
Yeah, they're racking them up. And what I find really interesting is their equity mix, sitting at 47.1%.
Hmm?
What does that tell us about their investment strategy?
Well, it seems like they're pretty optimistic about the Indian stock market. Long term. I mean,
Long term, yeah.
which, a lot of investors are these days.
Yeah, India seems to be a good bet these days.
Right.
So they're also attracting a lot of those SIPs, those systematic investment plans.
Hmm.
Those monthly contributions people are making.
Right.
And those saw a 47% year-on-year surge.
Big jump there.
Huge jump. So what's going on there? Is it just ABCL's marketing? Or is something else happening with how people invest?
It's probably a mix, right? I mean, they're definitely good at promoting those SIPs as like a really easy, disciplined way to invest.
Right.
But I also think people, especially younger people, they're realizing it's better to invest steadily, long term.
Right, not just try to get rich quick.
Yeah, exactly. It's a shift,
Yep, for sure.
And a good one for the market overall.
Agreed. All right, let's move on to life insurance now.
Yeah.
So their individual first-year premiums, those are up a healthy 33%, which tells us they're getting new customers.
Right. New blood.
Yeah. But what really stood out to me is their focus on what they call persistency.
Persistency. Okay.
Yeah, basically making sure people stick with their policies, keep paying those premiums.
Oh, I see. Keeping those customers happy
Right.
and engaged.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is really important in that business for long-term profitability.
Oh, for sure. It's not just about getting them to sign up.
Right. You got to keep them around.
You got to build that relationship. Yeah.
Exactly.
And keep that money coming in.
Predictability.
Yeah, exactly.
So seems like they're doing a good job with that.
Seems like it. Yeah.
Okay, finally, let's hit health insurance. So their gross written premium, or GWP, that grew 39% year on year. And they're doing really well with retail customers specifically. That premium growth is at 51%.
Wow.
Pretty impressive. Plus, they've also managed to snag more market share among those standalone health insurers.
Okay, so they're taking over.
Yeah, it's a competitive market out there.
Oh, yeah. Super competitive.
So gaining ground is not easy.
No, definitely not.
And I think this success really points to a few key things. First, health insurance is it's becoming more and more important, especially after everything that's happened globally, with
For
all.
itself, for sure.
And second, ABCL is probably using their digital platforms really well to reach more people
That's smart.
and offer those really specific, tailored health insurance solutions.
Yeah, give people what they want.
Exactly.
That's the key.
So, all in all, it seems like they're doing a lot of things right. And they're definitely riding some big trends in the Indian financial landscape.
Definitely. They're playing the game well.
Yeah, so far so good.
Yeah.
But, it's never that simple, is it?
Of course not. There's always more to the story.
Exactly. So we've got to see what the analysts are saying about all this.
Right. Get the expert opinion.
Yeah, are they as impressed as we are? Or are they seeing some red flags we might be missing?
Yeah, good question.
We'll dive into that after a quick break. So we've seen all these amazing numbers from ABCL, but I know you had some great questions about what the experts are saying. Like, are the analysts as blown away as we are? Or are they seeing some risks on the horizon that maybe we're not seeing?
Well, the overall feeling is pretty positive. They're mostly praising ABCL's growth, how consistent it is across all their businesses. They seem especially excited about the housing, finance, and asset management arms, which, makes sense, right? Those numbers are pretty crazy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we just talked about how impressive they were.
Yeah.
But, analysts always like to play devil's advocate a little.
Oh, yeah. Always got to look for the downsides.
Right. What could go wrong? So are they raising any concerns? Anything we should be worried about?
The biggest concern seems to be, can they keep this up? Especially if the economy gets shaky.
Weird.
One thing they're pointing to is those rising interest rates.
Yeah, those have been going up lately. How would that even affect a company like ABCL?
It's all about borrowing costs, right? When interest rates go up, it costs more for businesses, for people to borrow money.
Oh.
So that could slow down how much people are borrowing, especially for things like, loans for their business or a home loan.
Right. Makes it.
People might think twice if they're worried about those monthly payments.
Yeah, especially if those payments keep getting bigger.
Exactly.
So it's a tough spot, right? They need people to keep taking out loans so they can keep growing. But they also need to be careful about, not putting too much pressure on those customers.
It's a balance.
A balance, for sure. What else are the analysts worried about?
Competition's another big one. That Indian financial services market, it's packed.
Oh, yeah, there are tons of companies.
Tons, and new ones popping up all the time.
Wow.
So ABCL, they got to stay ahead of the game, always coming up with new stuff, better products and services if they want to keep those customers.
Yeah, it's like a race that never ends. And speaking of staying ahead of the game, they've been really pushing their digital strategy.
Oh, yeah, that whole D2C platform, right?
Right, ABCD.
ADCD, yeah.
So are the analysts seeing that as a good thing or a bad thing?
It seems like they mostly like it. They think that platform is something that sets them apart.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's easy to use. You can do a bunch of different things on it all in one place. And these days, everyone wants digital, right?
Right, especially in India, that's growing so fast.
It's essential.
Yeah, but even with a good platform, are there risks? I mean, you hear about all those cyber attacks and data breaches.
Oh, absolutely. That's a huge worry for any company that's online.
Yeah.
You got to be super careful about protecting that customer data, make sure their security is top-notch.
So it's not just about a fancy app. It's got to be secure.
It's got to be a fortress.
A fortress, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else the analysts are keeping an eye on?
Some are a little hesitant about ABCL's focus on that MSME sector, those small and medium businesses.
Right.
Their platform, Udyog Plus, it's a good idea, definitely helps those businesses out.
Yeah.
But those businesses, they tend to be more vulnerable when the economy goes down.
That makes sense.
So if there's a recession or something, some of them might have trouble repaying those loans.
Which could hurt ABCL.
Exactly. It could affect their profitability, yeah.
So again, it's about finding that balance
Always about balance.
between supporting these businesses that really need it and being smart about the risks involved.
Exactly.
Okay, one last thing I'm curious about. The global economy. It feels like anything could happen these days.
Oh, yeah. It's a wild world out there.
So are the analysts worried about how that could affect ABCL?
Definitely, especially in an emerging market like India. Those global issues like, tensions between countries, supply chain problems, inflation, all that can have a big impact.
Yeah, it's all connected.
Everything's connected.
So it sounds like they've got their work cut out for them.
They do.
But with all these potential risks, challenges, what's the overall outlook? Are the analysts still feeling good about ABCL's future?
I'd say they're cautiously optimistic. They know there are challenges, but they also see ABCL's strength.
Right.
Their business is diversified, they've got a good brand, and they're really focused on that digital innovation.
Yeah, that seems to be their strong suit.
Yeah, and all that puts them in a good position to deal with whatever comes their way.
So they're not just ignoring those risks.
Yeah.
They're taking steps to address them.
Exactly.
But what steps exactly? What are they doing to keep things moving in the right direction?
That's where things get really interesting.
Let's dive into that. Okay, so we've dug into ABCL's numbers, what the analysts think, and even some potential risks. But now let's zoom out a bit. What does all this mean for their future? Where do they fit into this whole Indian finance scene, which is always changing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really dynamic market. And to answer that, we got to remember ABCL isn't just operating on its own little island, right? The whole financial sector in India is transforming. You've got digitization happening everywhere, a growing middle class, and people are becoming more financially savvy.
So how's ABCL riding this wave? What are they doing to not just survive, but really thrive in this new environment?
Well, one thing that really stands out is their focus on financial inclusion. They're really trying to reach those underserved segments, especially in rural areas where access to financial services hasn't always been easy.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Their Udyog Plus platform, the one we talked about earlier that helps small and medium businesses, that's a great example of this.
So they're kind of bridging the gap, bringing those who've been left out into the fold.
Exactly. And technology is a big part of that. Their investments in those digital platforms, data analytics, even AI, it's all about making financial services easier to access, more personalized, more user-friendly.
Right, and that ABCD platform, it's a big part of that, right? Like having a whole financial supermarket right there on your phone.
Convenience and choice, that's the key. They're catering to a generation that wants things instantly, on their own terms, and they want it tailored to their needs, not just a one-size-fits-all approach.
And it's not just individuals, right? They're also supporting those small and medium businesses, the MSMEs, which are so important for India's economy, providing them with credit, tools, support. It all helps drive innovation and create jobs.
Absolutely. And we can't forget about sustainability either. These days, investors are looking for companies that are profitable but also responsible. ABCL has made it clear they're taking environmental, social, and governance factors seriously in their investments.
So it's not just about making money. It's about making it the right way, having a positive impact.
Exactly. Offering products that align with those sustainability goals attracts a whole new type of investor, the ones who want their money to do good in the world while also growing.
Okay, so we've got financial inclusion, digital innovation, sustainability. What else is on ABCL's agenda? What else should they be doing to really cement their position as a leader in the future of Indian finance?
One word: collaboration. They're realizing they can't do it all alone, and they're actively partnering up with fintech companies, startups, even government initiatives.
So it's like building an ecosystem where everyone benefits from each other's strengths.
Exactly. Sharing knowledge, resources, accessing new markets together, and we're already seeing it happen. They've partnered with banks, invested in promising fintechs, and gotten involved in those government programs aimed at financial inclusion. This collaborative approach is how they'll stay ahead of the game.
So all things considered, it sounds like ABCL is on a really exciting path. They're not just hitting those financial targets, they're actively shaping the future of finance in India.
I completely agree. Their focus on inclusion, digital transformation, sustainability, and collaboration puts them in a strong position to lead in this dynamic market.
But it's not going to be easy, right? The economy's unpredictable, competition is fierce, and technology never stops changing.
True, there will be challenges. But if ABCL can stay adaptable, keep that customer-centric approach, and prioritize innovation, they're well equipped to handle those challenges and keep growing.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive into Aditya Birla Capital Limited's Q2 FY25 results. We've covered a lot of ground, from their performance and the analyst takes to potential risks and their vision for the future.
It's been a great discussion. Hopefully everyone listening now has a better grasp of this company and its role in the evolving world of Indian finance.
And remember, things are constantly changing in the financial world, so stay curious, stay informed, and keep exploring.